Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation, where we discuss things that I deem worthy of discussion. No one else. Just me. Just me, baby. Today, I figured we'd talk about something that I think a lot of people, at least, you know, like the United States have done and gone through, and either love or hate, and that is the science fair. Science fair, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's done it. Well, at least I'm hoping everyone's done it. Oh God, what am I crushing? I'm crushing. Science fair, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, I'm hoping everyone's done it because otherwise I'm gonna feel real stupid. But I do feel like that was a very common thing. I don't think it was just an our area thing. But I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe we're just weird. I don't know. But I did science fairs for quite a while, and for at least our school, how we did it was, I think, until like 5th or 4th grade. It might have been 6th grade. I know at least up until 3rd grade, we did them all as like one big class project. Like we did a big class group thing, which was, I mean, I kind of preferred, just because it was a lot less work on your end. It was kind of just a teacher having to think of something and then you do it. And I'm like, okay. Because the hardest part for me anyway was always just thinking of something that I actually wanted to do, because everyone always took the good ideas first, and then even if they didn't take the good ideas first, my teacher would still just be like, no, I don't like that idea, choose something else. And then I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I don't fucking care about the science fair this here. So, yeah, that's usually how it went. And I have... no. There was... I can't remember any of my science fairs up until, like, before 3rd grade. But for 3rd grade, what we had to do was, it was, like using just understanding tectonic plate movement using like fucking graham crackers and icing and shit. So we'd put icing in between the graham crackers, and then we just push them around, and it's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of it. But that's why I'm not the teacher. So hey, you know what? By all means, it was fun. It was a fun little thing. I didn't hate it. I hated the teacher though. So I mean, I probably would hate the experience. But no, it was pretty good. However, the only thing I do remember is that they the principal or the science teacher, I don't really know who, like picked a winner, but from like the 3rd grade, like the other lower classes, they'd like the lower classes, yeah, like the like the poor people. The 3rd grade and the poor people would be judged, and then then there'd be like a 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place for the classes. And our class almost never got a rank. I don't know if we ever did, but I remember 3rd grade we didn't really do that great because it was just freaking icing with some graham crackers. But my sister's class, 'cause again I have a twin sister. She got her first place. Her class got 1st place that year because what they did was they rotted an orange. I don't entirely know how the project worked because I wasn't in the class, but they pretty much just took an orange and like mummified it. And I mean, hey, that sounds cool as fuck. So I mean, hey, I'm glad they won because I don't entirely understand how the hell that works. But hey, I'm glad they did it. That's fun. That sounds fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. 4th grade, I can't remember it too much. I think I don't remember. The only one I remembered before this must have been 4th grade then. I had a science project where and I did it with my sister, so me and my sister had the exact same science project that year, because, I mean, I don't care. We didn't care. So we decided to see what type of water ice melts the fastest in. And, we did, obviously we did hot and cold water, and then we also did whole cubes and shaved like ice bits, you know. And I'm telling you right now, we somehow managed to screw that project up. I don't know how we did it, but the cold shaved ice melted faster than the hot shaved ice. And I'm telling you right now, that's not how it's supposed to go. It's not supposed to be that way. You know, we literally broke the laws of science to that day, while just trying to prove otherwise. So I don't know how we did it, but we managed to. We did it twice too. You were like, what the hell? Let's do it again. Cold water melted it faster. I don't understand how that's physically possible, but I just remember sitting there for eons waiting for the cold watered ice cubes to melt. Took forever. All right, I'm gonna overstate that. Took forever, but we did it. And that was just great. Oh, I just remember my 7th grade science project, and I want to die now. Or was it 8th grade? No, it was 7th grade. Oh god. Okay, well, there's a story for 7th grade. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, let's see. So then we had 5th grade. I'm trying to remember what 5th grade was, because 4th grade was the ice cubes. 5th grade, what was 5th grade? I can't remember what we did for 5th grade. If anything, 4th grade might have been another class project, and then 5th grade was the ice cubes, because I really can't remember anything for whichever one I didn't do. I don't remember. But 6th grade. I remember 6th grade. They didn't really, have a screening for it. They didn't really screen for what projects you did. They were just kind of like, you have a project, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, you working on it? Like, yeah, you're working on it. Like, tell me about it. And they're like, but, oh, okay. And I remember this is when it was me and one of my friends that I just met that year. And my 6th grade teacher was like, oh, hey, you should do a project together. I think that'd be a really good idea. You guys would, you probably get along. You should make a project together. It'd be great. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, probably, but, and don't get me wrong, we started doing it like that, but then I just, again, I think what he wanted to do was, he wanted to do, how to get gum out of your hair or something, or, which gum stays freshest the longest, which, I mean, it's not a bad project. It's an interesting one. I didn't chew gum at the time, so I didn't really, that project just immediately got, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. So I didn't care too much about it, but I mean, it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting one. But what I decided to do that year was do nothing. Now, this is something that I've done in the past a lot, where I just save all the work for the last minute. Yeah, because I mean, I don't fucking care. And so I was just like, okay, what's an interesting sounding project that I could just Google online? And it was like, what? I don't remember the exact thing, but it involved putting gases in balloons or liquids in balloons and seeing which one was denser by the balloon or something. I don't remember at all the project properly. I just remember there's balloons and stuff. And this is also where it comes into very important territory. This is very important to note. My family, we weren't the richest family in the world. So we didn't have a printer. We never had a printer for long. We had a printer and then it broke, and then we didn't really buy a printer for a long, long time until we got one as a Christmas present. And I think we still have that printer today. So, yeah. But was that? Oops, no. Okay. But yeah, we never really had a printer. So, when it came to actually making it look nice, pretty much impossible because everything was handwritten. And we went to our local little craft shop and we found some little cutout pieces of paper. So one was a star, one was a balloon. So I was like, oh dude, this would be great for my thing. And I don't remember what, I think I titled it something to do with farts. It was a fart joke in there. It was like real gassy or something like that. I don't remember, but I remember presenting that, and he was so unbelievably disappointed because the project sounded cool. He's like, you did this? I'm like, yeah. Like, do you have any pictures? I'm like, no, I don't have a camera. I'm sorry, we don't have a camera. We poor. I don't have a phone. I didn't have a phone till 8th grade. Not because we were poor, just because they didn't want us to have a phone. Which is fair. I was content with that one. But yeah, we didn't have a phone to take pictures with. I guess I could take a picture with my mom's phone, and we could have gone to the photo kiosk at like a CVS or Walgreens or Walmart or something. But that's work, and we didn't know we could do that, so he let it slide. And I think the only reason he let it slide is because he liked my family as a whole. You know, like my sister was in his class the year before me, and my brother was in his class like 3 years before me. So he already had a good foundation of my family. So he's like, oh, if they did it, then it must mean he did it too. So yeah, I got away with highway robbery that year. Barely though. I'm not gonna say like I was a freaking mastermind, but I kind of got away with it. Yeah, that was pretty good. I felt pretty good. I heard my friend presented his project. And he had some cool little designs and shit. I think he had like a big face. I grew up around in Brooklyn, so in Coney Island, there's this like tickler ride with like a really creepy guy with his face and like his like teeth are all like, it's just creepy. Yeah, it looked like he modeled the face after that, but he might have just modeled after his own face. Cause I honestly don't know, but it was interesting, and I thought it was cool. I don't remember what my sister did. But I think we also she faked hers too, because you know, birds of a feather flock together. So it's interesting. But yeah, 6th grade I wasn't the most proud of not doing one, but I was definitely the laziest. So next year I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do a project, and we had a new science teacher that year, so she kind of spiced up the rules. And she made it so that way you can like work with people in between classes. So me and my sister could work together again. But she said we could also have groups up to 3. So we're like, all right, you know what? We'll throw in my friend. Because you know we were gonna work together last year. Why not work together this year? And we decided on we spent ages trying to find a project that she would actually like okay. Because she was she was a very good science teacher. I mean, it made that completely clear. She was like the best science teacher we could have ever asked for. She was just nuts, and she loved science, and she loved teaching it. So props to her. But she was also very, very strict about which projects she deemed worthy of being presented in her classroom. And what ended up happening was we spent like almost a month or two. Like, however long until it was, like, 2 weeks left of time to actually get a project going, did we actually get this going. And it fucking sucked. Because she always kept asking us, and we kept giving her ideas. It wasn't like we weren't looking. We kept finding ideas that were interesting to us. And she just was like, no, someone's already doing something like that. Or, I don't think that's up to your skill level. Because she thought we were smart. She thought we were some of the smart kids. So she didn't think it was... She thought it'd be better if we did a crazier project. And eventually we stuck to I found one that was like what milk is like has the most bacteria in it. So like how you would do it is there's this like blue liquid mixture thing that I had to buy online. I don't remember what it was called, but you put it into the milk, and then the more bacteria it would have, then like the gross I think it turned less blue, like it started turning like white or like whatever. You should like consume it essentially, and it sounded cool. And she gave it the okay. She's like, but you have to like actually find the stuff, and I found it online. We bought it. It took so long to get to our house. By the time it got to our house, we had 3 days to do this entire project, and I was like, okay. And people are actually relying on me doing a project. So you know, I'm gonna take all my boots and I'm gonna do this project. So I told my friend and I told my sister, hey, we got the stuff, we got the goods. You know, we're in the money. We got the stuff. Let's get this project a rolling. And so we take some mason jars. So we did whole milk, I think fat-free milk, and like lactate milk. I know we should have probably put some unpasteurized milk in there, but we didn't know where to fucking find unpasteurized milk. No one's just gonna sell that, especially in a city. No one sells that in a city, so we were just kind of going with whatever we had, which I am perfectly okay with. And how the project worked was you'd set it up, you'd do the milk thing, you'd put it in there, and then you'd just literally wait for something to happen. And I didn't really know how long you're supposed to wait for. I still don't to this day, to be honest with you. But I can only imagine it would have happened like almost immediately, or like an hour or two. I stayed up that whole night. My friend went home like right after we put the milk in. He's like the stuff in the jars, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go home." Bye. He's like, "Okay." And so I'm sitting there, and my sister wanted to go do her thing, so it's literally just me for the entire day and night. Because we also had to take pictures of this thing, because she actually cared about that sort of stuff, so we actually had to take pictures. And I'm just like, okay, fine, we'll do it. So I took pictures every single hour, the entire night. And lo and behold, not much changed. I think I was kind of just like hoping that one changed. So we didn't label these, by the way. We just kind of just remembered which one was which. Probably should have. It made more sense in the pictures. But all I remember was one of them, I think the lactate, slightly getting like lighter blue than the other two. So which I think would have meant that it was like taking in some of the stuff. So it technically had more bacteria in it. But yeah, so from there, I wrote up all this stuff. I think we either printed it at the library or my friend got it printed, because I think he had a printer. And we got it done. We got the project done. This is actually around the same time we first got guinea pigs. So we had Larry and Gabe just kind of out and about while we were doing the project. We had them just kind of like looking around, like, look at the. We just kind of I think we literally just got them like the day we were putting everything together. So we were like, fuck yeah, dude. We just had them chilling with us. It was so cute. Such little dudes doing some science with us. It was awesome. But yeah, so we did some science stuff. I did some science stuff. I put it all together. And my sister and friend gave some constructive criticisms about how I put the board together. Then they kind of made it look a little bit prettier. So, hey, my sister did. So more power to them. And then came presenting it. Since we were in two different classes, both of us had to present it in a different fashion. And so it was me and my friend presenting it in our class, and then my sister presenting it in her class. And, all fine and dandy there. Except, I was effectively the only one who really knew what they were talking about. My sister, I briefed her on the thing. She had the board so she can read it herself and understand what she was supposed to say and do. But I had an idea of how I was going to present it in class. And for whatever reason, my friend who had zero clue about what the project was, what we practically did, because he wasn't there for any of it. So he was just kind of like getting I was fully expecting him to understand and respect the fact that he was just kind of getting the buy for this project. He doesn't have to do anything, he's just, I wasn't very happy about it, but I was like, what, at least he's my friend, and I'm glad we're gonna be fine. He decides to try to take the lead on presenting this project after not even being briefed. I didn't even brief him. I didn't have time to brief him because we went almost like first, so I didn't have time to brief him about what the project even was, or how it worked. I briefed him on what it was, but I didn't brief him on how it went or what the stuff meant. So he's up there, and I'm trying to talk, and then he's like trying to take it in his own, and it just he spins it in a way that reverses what the project was supposed to prove. So then I'm standing there, having to try to group the thing back together, but then he doubles down, and he's like, no, this is not supposed to mean this. So we're pretty much just arguing over the results in front of the class, and which confuses not only the teacher, but also we had some of the students who she deemed the good ones, most of the good ones anyway, like be like a grading group, you know, like to see like who to like help them grade, and then like I guess like if she agreed with the grade, and that's how they would grade them. And they were all confused, and I had to explain it so much differently. I tried like discreetly telling him to shut up, but it didn't really work. So he just kept talking over me sometimes while I'm trying to re-explain it, and he didn't no, it didn't help at all. So I ended the presentation. Everyone was confused, and then I'm like, I really hope my sister's my sister has better chance, you know, doing this project. And I didn't expect her to. He's like, if he didn't do the project with me, and he got bombed that hard, I can only imagine how it would go without someone who did the project. But no, she explained it well. She did it well. Everyone in her class completely understood what the project was and how it was supposed to go. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I don't know how you managed, but thank goodness you're fine. And I think that is the only reason why we actually still passed, because she was like borderline going to fail us for that project. But since she saw how it was supposed to be presented and what the data was supposed to mean, I guess she just kind of was like, okay, fine. You know, it actually did work out, so you guys get a pass, because the project did work. You guys are just idiots. But she genuinely believed that we didn't do the project. She thought that she did the project, and that made me mad. Because I stayed up that entire night doing that project, like slaving. Oh, like every hour. I didn't go to bed. I just kind of sat there in our kitchen waiting for the hour to pass so I could take a freaking picture. And then I went to the local CVS to go get pictures from a kiosk. And I was the only one who was daring enough to do it, so I had to go freaking do the pictures and then get all the stuff and then pay for it and then get over here, back home, and put them all on a board. And it was a disaster. It was an absolute freaking disaster. I don't know how we passed. Like, again, we went on the skin of our teeth. She told us, like, you need to watch. You were very close to not passing that science fair project, because it's pretty clear that neither of you did it. I'm like, I really wanted to, like, I wanted to say something, but at the same time, it's my friend. You know what? We both passed, so I'm not gonna throw blame onto my friend. I'm not gonna throw shit onto my friend because I want a better grade. No, we passed. I don't care. I didn't care about getting 100. I cared about passing. That's what we did, so I'm pretty happy with that. But just the fact that probably to this day she still thinks, oh, I can't believe that guy really butchered his project like that. And so from then on, for our last year, because it was a K-8 school, we had an 8th grade project, I said, no, I'm not doing a project with anybody. I'm doing it on my own. Which is great, because my friend actually wanted to do it with one of my other friends that year anyway. So I was like, okay, cool. Works for me. So I decided I'm taking my own project, and I'm just going to do it. But it came into the exact same problem as last year. I had some ideas, none of which were accepted by the teacher. I don't know what it was with my stuff that I wanted to do, but she just hated every single one of them. And yeah, it took so long to find one that she was okay with. It's like, but yeah, I mean, it's just okay. Oh, is it turning morning? Oh, okay. But it took me so long to figure out a project that actually worked, and eventually, it turns out that we were able to do research projects this year as well. So we didn't have to actually do a project. We could do like a research project, which was I'm so thankful for, because I didn't want to do any stupid project. I mean, it was because nothing I could do clearly was going to work. And I mean, knowing me, I would barely be able to actually manage it, and then I'd fail it at the end, and then I'd be like, ah, shit, well, no, what am I supposed to do? But she was like, okay, we could do research projects as well. So I'm like, great. I threw some research projects her way, like some ideas for them. She hated them. She didn't want me to do them. And so I'm just sitting there with my dick in my pants, because, you know, I'm not going to whip it out during fucking school. That's weird. But I'm sitting there like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? What do? I have no idea. And my sister, she was doing a project with one of her friends. She was like doing like a marshmallow launcher. He's like, hey, that's kind of fun. Go for it. Go nuts. That sounds fun. I'd rather be doing that than doing nothing right now. But and so then she's like, oh hey, well one of my other friends was he's doing a research project, and one of the ones that she didn't end up doing was like a study like a quick research on like bacterial pneumonia. And I'm like, oh, that's big words. She'll like that. So I told her that's what I was gonna do, and she said, yeah, sure, that sounds good. And I'm like, yes, I got her acting the reins. And so I just spent a day, researching bacterial pneumonia. It wasn't anything crazy. I just kind of, I did it, and then I researched it, and I was like, it was good. And the thing is though, for that year, I didn't have a friend who had a printer, and I never got a library card because every time I tried to get a library card, some new clause was implemented to the whole process, so I couldn't do it for some reason, and I just got mad, and I was like, no, I'm okay because I'm not gonna print. So I was like, fuck it, they're just gonna have to deal with it. There weren't any pictures because it's bacterial pneumonia, so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just chill with this. But and this is the luckiest I've ever been in my life, probably. she like almost everybody was going that one day where we were presenting. There was only like a few projects left at that point, and in the beginning of the day, she mentioned, I hope everything here is nicely, like, there's photos, they were all printed out, everything's nicely typed, because if it's not, I'm automatically failing you, because you had so much time to figure out a way around it. I've had students who had absolutely nothing still managed to get something printed out, and so there is no excuses for why you wouldn't have it printed out. And then she's like, okay, let's get started. And she goes over some other people's things. I think one of the beginning ones was two of my friends' project, which was like a lie detector thing with like a blood pressure monitor. Really cool idea, but she didn't really like how they went around doing it because the questions that they asked were really just silly ones, like do you pee standing up and stuff, which I thought was fun. But I'm not gonna. It was fun. They had a good time doing it. It's a science project. It's a science. That's what it's for. It's about having fun with science. Not supposed to just freaking be an asshole and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a stickler for this stuff. But I guess she was. But I mean, she's still a good teacher. She just is a little stricter on actually making things happen. But yeah. So and then this is the luckiest I've ever been. She's like, okay, so we're gonna do this person's project, and then right after this one, Harris, you're next, so get ready. And I start panicking in my head. I'm like, oh my fucking god, she's gonna hate me. It's all written on this board, and she's gonna hate me. She's gonna hate me. She's actually gonna hate me. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna do. And then they finish their project. There's still time left for one more project, and she calls someone else. And no one, not a soul, is like, oh hey, wasn't it Harris's turn? And no one did it. So it smoothed by. She started doing her they did their project. They got some applause, and then the bell rang. And then and only then was she like, oh, Harris was gonna go next. Okay, well you'll be first tomorrow, so be prepared. I'm like, okay, yeah. so I'm like freaking out, and like I grab my board so she can't see it, and I run outside. I'm like, dude, one of my friends, dude, oh, use your printer, please. Please use your printer. And he's like, yeah, of course, dude. We should have just asked. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I don't do that. I don't do those things. I don't ask for help. So, on a whim, I somehow managed to squeak by. It takes me like a couple hours at night after school to get to like go, because I didn't have a computer really. I did, but it didn't really work, and so I had to type it all up at his house. I just copied exactly what I wrote on my papers. I even found a couple pictures to slam on there, and it actually looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it actually looked pretty dang good. I don't have pictures, but I was pretty proud of it. And presenting it, I went up there, actually confident in my abilities. I went up there with some confidence, and I with some smirk on my face. I was explaining these things. People had questions, I could answer them because I actually researched this stuff. I almost said this shit, but I don't know why. There's no reason not to say this shit. I'm not in school again. I actually researched this shit, so I actually knew what I was talking about. And, you know, people tried, like, arguing some of my points, even though it was a research project. But I was like, no, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Even teachers like, yeah, I mean, did research to clear. He knows what he's talking about more than you do. You shut up. So, I researched it. I presented it well, and she gave me a really good grade for it. Like a solid grade. I don't think it was like a perfect score, but it was a pretty good one. And I was really very happy with that. That was one of the best science fairs that I've done. Probably the best, just because it's the only one I actually kind of did like a decent amount of work on. Yeah, the science fair as a whole was a very, very fun little thing. I could go on and on about that science teacher's class. You know, like that one particular class, because we had a different science teacher from like K to 6, and then for 7th and 8th grade we had like a bigger one, not a bigger one like fat, but like a more professional one. I don't know why that was. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. But yeah, so we got a more professional science teacher, and she was awesome. You know, hats off to her, man. She made science so interesting and engaging and fun. Obviously, she was a little bit strict, but I mean, this is kind of how, you know, a good teacher goes. And some of them are teachers are good because they're chill or because they're super strict, but like in an interesting and in a fun way. I don't know, but she was good. She was a really good teacher, and she made that. I was just so scared, and the fact that she didn't call my name. She didn't call my name. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how she didn't, but she didn't call my name. She forgot that she was gonna say me go. Either that, or she saw me panicking in the chair, and she was like, you know what? Give him some time. Jesus Christ, he needs it. So, thank God, because I was all the way in the back corner of the room. So she probably just looked over to me, saw I was like about to start crying, freaking hyperventilating in my seat. And she was like, okay, no, someone else go. And I think everyone else must have also saw that, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Because at this point, we all have fucking brains, so we're not just like mindless idiots. Like, but it was his turn. No, everyone was like, oh yeah, Jesus, fucking guy, go do your thing right. Jesus Christ, why do you do this every year? Well, yeah. So, all in all, science fairs, I like them as long as you're able to do what you want to do, because a lot of the times I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, and as a result I had an awful time doing a science fair. But when I was actually able to do something I wanted to do, it turned out pretty fun. Like, I enjoyed doing the 7th grade science project, even though it took me all night and I was the only one working on it. I didn't really care. I thought the project was interesting. I thought just the idea of having to buy some crazy shit off the internet just to actually do it was cool. And I had a good time putting it all together. And I was really looking forward to presenting it. I had the whole thing in my head. I mapped it out in my head. How's it gonna go? And then, you know, of course, you know how that went. Not well at all. I'm still friends with him to this day. So, you know, don't, you know, he's fine. You know, it's cool. I don't hate him forever because he ruined my science fair project in 7th grade. That'd be crazy. But yeah, it was an interesting time for sure. For sure. But yeah, so I mean, that's about all we got. Yeah, but yeah. So science fairs. If y'all had some fun science fairs, let me know about it. You know, I'm always interested. And yeah, I'll see you next time, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Stranded Deep in Conversation. Bye, everybody.